Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today I'm gonna share some of my most favorite products that I literally cannot put down, things that I am reaching for all of the time to do my makeup, and some other favorites, like some lifestyle favorites. Towards the end, I'll throw them in. I did apply a lot of them to my face, so I will be throwing in some clips as I'm talking about them so you can see the application of them. Everything I talk about, I will link down in the description box below. And if you enjoy this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. And I would love for you to subscribe before you leave if you enjoy makeup content. The eyeshadow that I'm wearing is not part of this video. I do a separate eyeshadow palette ranking video every so often. And I don't feel like there's any one eyeshadow palette that I've been reaching for over and over and over again lately. I've been just really using a whole bunch of things, but I am wearing the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette on my eyes. Go follow me on Instagram because this tutorial should already be up when you're watching this video. But anyway, let's get to the goods. We're gonna start off with the makeup first. I love this foundation that I'm about to talk about. Well, I'm just gonna tell you what it is right away. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation Matte. So according to a lot of you guys, this is the original Photo Focus foundation, but they created a dewy version, so they are labeling this one matte. I'm obsessed with this foundation. I love it for so many reasons. First reason, I feel like the shade match I'm wearing, bronze beige, is so good for me right now. And I feel like this is matte, but it's not super matte, dry, cakey looking. I do have oily skin, so keep that in mind. But I feel like this just gives me a beautiful airbrushed appearance to my face. It makes my face look poreless, which is not the case. Obviously, I'm human, but it just makes my skin look so good, so good. And it is so affordable, as you obviously probably know. I think at Walmart, this is under $5, which is crazy to me. I'm reaching for this over my high-end foundations. I'm obsessed with this. I love it. I did have this years and years and years ago. I don't remember loving it as much back then, but I also didn't always have oily skin. So I'm loving this foundation. I'm obsessed with it. The next kind of complexion product I want to talk about is this powder. This is the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. I have the translucent shade. This powder is so good. I got one of the sample sizes from Sephora. I went through it so fast and I decided to pick up a full size. Now, again, I have oily skin, remember that. I'm probably gonna say that 100 more times so you don't forget. But this is a very mattifying, very blurring powder. It sets your makeup and your makeup is not gonna move. It is not going to move. Now, I would say this isn't super finely milled. It's a little bit thicker of a powder, but for me, with oily skin, living in Florida in the summer, I love this. I've been using it all the time lately. I've been really enjoying it. So if you are looking for something like that, I highly suggest this one. They also sell it in a mini, which is awesome. So you definitely want to try out the mini if you've never tried this before you buy the full size. I don't regret this purchase at all. I love it. Okay, we're gonna go on to some cheek products, and a couple of these are things I've mentioned several times, but listen, I just love them. I can't put them down. So if I've mentioned them several times, that should tell you something, that I'm really getting use out of them. So the first one is the NYX Wonder Stick, the contour and highlight specifically, and specifically the contour side. The highlight side is fine. It's just not something that I ever really reach for. I've used it a handful of times, basically to test out the formula, and it's good. It's a fine stick highlighter, but this contour side, I would call more of a bronzer contour hybrid because it's a neutral color. I have mine in the shade Universal Light, and I love this stick bronzer. I love this, but I will tell you why I like it, and the reasons I like it, you might not like it, if that makes sense. First of all, I love the tone. Perfect tone for me. Second of all, I love that it's at the drugstore and it's at a very affordable price. This is probably my favorite cream bronzer at the drugstore that I've tried thus far. I definitely don't suggest applying this how they tell you to. They tell you to do it directly to your skin and then buff it out. It's very hard to blend out if you do that. So I just take it, use my brush, and then apply it from the brush onto my cheek. It's definitely not a super creamy formula. So if you have dry skin, I don't know that you would love this. But again, for my oily skin, this stays put and it has more of a matte finish. It's not super shiny or dewy or moisturizing looking. It's just a good old-fashioned, reliable, going to stay put, really nice cream bronzer. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been using it almost every single day. So that should tell you something. Loving this. And then I mentioned this before, but listen, I love it. This is the One Size Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio, and it comes with 3 bronzers in 3 different tones. The top one is more of like a true bronzer, a little more warm toned. The middle one is a slightly lighter, they're calling it like sculpting shade. And then the bottom is the deepest shade that you can use more to contour. This bronzer is so good. It's so blendable. It is very pigmented though, very pigmented. During the Sephora sale, I kind of wanted to get the medium just because I am like a light medium. And for a bronzer, sometimes I would rather it be a little dark so that I can kind of sheer it out. But oh my gosh, am I glad that I got light, because the medium would have been way too deep for me. So I would say if you are in between shades, go lighter than you think you need to, because these are very pigmented. They run dark, but they are so easy to blend. They're so beautiful on the skin. It's a matte bronzer, which is my preference, to be honest with you. But I am absolutely loving this bronzer trio. Highly recommend if you've been thinking about it. It is very good quality, and I love that you get 3 shades. The packaging's really nice. All around, just a great product. Okay, listen, I know that I have really talked a lot of crap about NARS and how much I don't like their products, but there are two NARS products in this video, so I am eating my words slightly with that one. So I have a little size of the NARS Laguna bronzer. I've been loving this. I've been loving this for days when I'm not wearing foundation, and I will tell you why. I feel like this powder is kind of the same thing as the blushes. They have a much thinner texture to them, where this is like very powdery and very pigmented. This is not quite so pigmented. So I feel like I really have to really buff it into my skin and load up my brush to really get a lot of pigment onto my face, or any pigment for that matter. So I don't love doing that when I have foundation, because I'm afraid it's going to take up my foundation and all of that. So I love doing this when I'm more like spot concealing my face, which I do a lot. If I'm going to work, I don't wear foundation very often. I love this for the days when I'm not wearing foundation. It is quite deep, so like right now with a tan, it looks nice on me. I don't think it's gonna work for me when I see, even the swatch, you can't see anything. It's very buildable. It has a slight sheen to it. With the tan that I have now, I feel like it suits me. If I was any fairer than this, like in the wintertime, I don't think it would look good on me. But I would say if you have like a light to medium / medium skin tone, this is pretty good. I hate to admit it, but I have been enjoying this bronzer. Okay, and then I have some blushes and a highlight to talk about. So first blush that I want to talk about, or these are 2 blushes, are 2 of the single blushes from Unearthly Cosmetics. So they came out with some single blushes and some single highlighters a couple months ago, and Unearthly Cosmetics is like one of my favorite indie brands. I love everything that they release. I think they're wonderful. And I bought 2 of the single blushes. This deeper, like orangey red one is the shade Tangy, and this more warm toned pink one is the shade Bloom, and I am wearing Bloom on my cheeks today. These blushes just look so beautiful on the skin. I love the colors. I love orange. If you're not new here, you know that, okay? We get it. But I love orange everything, and especially orange blush. And this like deeper reddish orange is so pretty for summer. I love this warm tone pink because it is bordering on that apricot orange line, but still pink. And I love that I could use it still to tie into like the purpley tones on my eyes, but it's still warm because I prefer a warm blush. The highlight, I really haven't used enough to call it a favorite. This highlight is in the shade Golden. So I'm not including this in the favorites video, but I have used it a couple times and I do like it, but I wouldn't call it a favorite right now. These blushes are amazing. They come in a million colors. They are so beautiful. I have a couple other of their blushes and I've loved the quality of the blushes. Highly recommend. So this new collection from Odin's Eye that they just released some blushes, some highlighters, and an eyeshadow palette. I bought 2 blushes, a highlighter, and the eyeshadow palette. Have to admit, I haven't even used the eyeshadow palette yet. Anybody else like that? Like when you get something new and it's so pretty, you just don't want to touch it. I kind of just want to hang it on my wall as art. I don't even want to touch it. And even with these, it took me a long time to want to use them because they're so, like the embossing on them is so beautiful. I got 2 blushes. So I got the shades Sunset Clouds and Warm Sun. So Warm Sun is the orange, you guessed it, this very light, almost yellowy orange. Absolutely beautiful. And then I got the shade Sunset Clouds, which is this more like mauvey pinky shade. Quality of these is unbelievable. They blend like a dream. They are kind of buildable. They're not super duper 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 pigmented right out the gate, which is nice because you can build it up, but they're also not like so not pigmented that you're layering up 20 layers to get color. They're just like that perfect in between. You know, I love an orange blush, so I don't have to say anything more about this one. And I'm very surprised at this one, this more cool toned / neutral blush. I'm not really a pink blush person. I prefer a warm toned cheek. So I was really surprised, but I love how this one looks on my cheeks. I'm obsessed. The packaging is 20 out of 10. The most gorgeous packaging I've ever seen on a cheek product in my life. Just beautiful. These are matte blushes, but they do also have shimmery blushes as well. I'm just not into a shimmer blush typically, so I just grabbed a couple of the matte blushes. And then I got a highlighter from the collection. So I got the most wearable, quote, wearable blush that they had. A lot of the blushes, not blushes, highlights. A lot of the highlights that they had were very like duochromy, multichromy, shifty, colorful, which is not typically my most favorite. I'm not a highlighter person in general. I really don't wear highlight that often, but I had to do it. I had to pick one up. So I picked up the shade Warm Sunshine, which if you look at it straight in the pan, it's more of just like almost like a creamy white color. But when you apply it, it has kind of shifts of orange, and I am wearing it on my cheeks today. I can't even tell you how much I'm obsessed with this highlight. It is so beautiful. It is colorful without being like wham in your face colorful. It goes absolutely beautifully with the Warm Sun blush, that orange blush. Those two layered together is just what my orange dreams are made of. I love it. It doesn't look chunky, it looks smooth, but it also is a little sparkly, okay? If you're looking for just like a straight, wet looking, translucent-y type of thing, this isn't for you. There's a little bit of sparkle, but it doesn't look like texture enhancing or chunky or weird. It just looks beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Same packaging, same embossing, but this one has a moon. The blushes have suns. Gorgeous. Okay, another product that I changed my mind about, I'll be honest with you, is the NARS Climax Mascara. So I did, way when this launched years and years ago, I bought a full size. I didn't really get what the hype was about. I didn't really like it. I have really terrible lashes. Most mascaras don't do anything for me, I'll be really honest with you. But I got this with reward with my Sephora order or Ulta order, I can't remember. I love this mascara. It is really good. It is volumizing, which is what I want, lifting, which is what I want, and provides a little bit of length as well. It has a really fluffy hourglass shaped wand. It's a really nice mascara. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge on me. It adds fluffiness without getting clumpy, and that is one thing I really like about this. A lot of volumizing mascaras can get very clumpy. I don't find that this one gets clumpy. I need to throw this out though because I've been using it for way too long and it's a mini. But I just wanted to mention it because I've really been enjoying it. Okay, I have been testing out a lot of lip products lately because I went on a lip no-buy for the first half of the year. And then all of a sudden I broke that no-buy and just started buying every lip product in sight. It's like when you go on a diet and you cut out carbs and then, you know, when your 1 month is up, you just eat every carb in sight. That is exactly how I've been with lip products. So I have been really reaching for, though, a lot, the ColourPop Glowing Lip. I did recently pick this up at Ulta. This one is in the shade Indulge Me. This is a beautiful lip product. It's probably one of my favorite lip products from ColourPop I've ever tried. It's kind of a hybrid between a lip balm, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. A lot of brands are coming out with these right now. The thing I like about this is it's pretty pigmented, so it does provide like a lipstick effect to the lips. It's extremely comfortable, and I absolutely love how it makes my lips look plump and just, you know what I mean? So good. The one downside to this, I will say, is that it is not very long lasting. It does fade off the lips pretty quickly, but I find that this is a really good purse lipstick because you can just easily apply it without a mirror. Boom, boom, boom. Fully enjoying this one. It's great. And I love the color. So the next product I want to talk about are lashes. So I picked up a whole bunch of the Unearthly Cosmetics lashes whenever they launched a few months ago. And I've kind of narrowed it down to my absolute favorites. I have two that I've been literally obsessed with. I've repurchased them. They are my favorite lashes right now. I'm gonna pop them up on the screen because the ones I have are like gunky and cut up and all of that. So I'd rather you see them like what they're actually supposed to look like. So I am wearing the shade Intangible, and these ones are just so fluttery. They're more like long and wispy, not super voluminous, which I really like for more lighter makeup looks, but also so that you can see all the blending that I did on my eyeshadow that I worked so hard to do. I need you to see it. Find with voluminous, like super voluminous lashes, they block a lot of the eyeshadow. And then the other ones I like are Immortal. And these Immortal ones remind me a lot of Iconic Lights from House of Lashes, which are my favorite lashes of all time. They are more of that cat eye, longer on the outer part of your eye, shorter on the inner part, a little more voluminous than these ones, but still pretty wispy. They're very light. Both of them are very light on the eyes. They're very easy to apply. They almost remind me of the House of Lashes lashes, but these are half the price. They're very affordable. So I highly recommend these styles. I have tried a few more as well, but these two are the ones that I personally recommend. I've been enjoying the lashes from Unearthly Cosmetics a lot. And then I have one more makeup related thing before I get to the other stuff. So I have this brush set from Alamar Cosmetics. I own all of the brushes that they've released, both face and eye brushes. I think they're such good quality eye brushes for the price. I like the shapes that they release. But this brush set, I believe, came out with their Spanglish collection. Actually, if they did release brushes for their last collection, the Encanto one, I did not buy those brushes. So I lied. Sorry, I lied. I have almost all the brushes. You liar! These brushes are so good. And in particular, this brush. This is the Detailed Diffuser brush. It is just this tiny little fluffy blending brush that is perfect for blending out eyeshadow on the lower lash line. That is what I use it for most of the time. And I also use it when it has no shadow on it, just to blend the edges of my shadow. It's a perfect little tiny blending brush. It's so good. It's worth the price of these three, in my opinion, alone. You can't buy it alone. You gotta buy it in the set, unfortunately. This next one is the Crease Control brush, which I find is a very interesting brush. It is like a fan brush for your eye, basically. I like this for my inner corner when I wanna like blow out a shadow to go into my inner corner and kind of go up and down as well. I just work it like that. This is also really good for the lower lash line, and it's good for in the crease if you want to really get in your crease if you have deep set eyes. Really nice. And then this is the Pigment Packer brush, which is exactly what I like to use this for. I don't really use brushes for shimmer shades so often. I use my finger really most of the time, but I really like this for matte shadows, packing something on my outer corner, or if I'm doing just a matte all over the lid, I really like to use this to pack it because it is a little fluffier. So I feel like it kind of just disperses it a little bit in a smoother manner. Love this brush set. It's so good. Did I mention that this is the second set that I bought? I had this and I bought it again because I needed doubles. That's when you know you like it. Okay, we're gonna go on to some other like lifestyle-y type stuff because I have some other really good stuff to share with you guys, things that I've been loving lately. Well, there's some of them are still beauty related. So let's first talk about nail polishes. Long story short, I used to wear acrylics for years and years and years. Then the pandemic hit, couldn't get your nails done, right? We all went through that. So I started doing my nails at home and I really missed having fingertips. I never really realized how much I missed having fingertips till I didn't have long nails anymore. So I've really been doing my nails at home. Don't get me wrong, I love the look of long nails, and I do wear press-ons occasionally if I want a long nail for a few days, but then I'm ready to take them off. Anyway, I have found these nail polishes and I'm loving them. So these are the Sally Hansen Extreme Wear nail polishes. These are from the drugstore. They're very affordable, okay? And I love the Butter London nail polishes as well. But these, they last forever on the nails. I'm not kidding. Forever. Very accessible. They come in a million colors. And I've been loving bright pops of color on the nails, cream finishes. Not that you could tell by what I'm wearing now, more of like a metallic finish on my nails. I'm not wearing a Sally Hansen polish on my nails right now, but I love these nail polishes, especially, you guessed it, the orange. So this orange is the shade Sunkissed. Love this. Babe Blue, this really pretty like bluey, baby blue. Obviously it's called Babe Blue. And then Jam Sesh is this purple. Now the purple I just recently picked up and wore recently on the nails. It does not pull this pastel. It actually looks a little bit deeper, which is kind of unfortunate. I was hoping for more of like a pastel look, but I'm loving the bright nails, and these polishes, they last on my nails easily a week, which for me is a long time. Usually nail polish chips on me within 24 hours, but these look good after a week on me. They're not perfect, but they look good. Okay, I love this body butter. So this is the Tree Hut Tropic Glow Firming Whipped Shea Body Butter. So I've mentioned on my channel Tree Hut before, their body scrubs, their shave oils. Obsessed. I've mentioned Tropic Glow, the scent, before on my channel. Obsessed. It is a dupe for the Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream. It's like Plankton going into the Krusty Krab and stealing the formula. They stole the formula. They stole the formula on this scent from Sol de Janeiro. Now, I will say, I like this more than the Boom Boom Cream, and I will tell you why. I think the Boom Boom Cream and all of Sol de Janeiro's body butters are so heavily scented, like crazy heavily scented, very strong all day long. I don't love that. And that just may be me, but I just don't love how scented they are. This, you get the experience of the scent while you're applying it, and then it kind of fades throughout the day. So it's not like offensively scented, but you still get to smell it while you're applying it. I can't. Like, I just want to eat it. The other thing I really like about this is it's a very light body butter. So it's not heavy on the skin. I would say if you are very dry skinned and you want hydration, this is probably not the best body butter. But for me, again, in Florida with a humid climate, I don't need something super hydrating right now. So I'm loving this one. I think it's so, so beautiful. Okay, listen, you need to know about this. If you like chocolate, which I know you do, you have got to try this brand. I am addicted. And thanks to one of my subscribers, Renee, she introduced me to this brand. So I eat plant-based, and so she suggested this as a sweet treat that is vegan. This is the brand Q Kitchen, and this is specifically, this one is the cashew butter and pure vanilla bean dark chocolate. Listen, I have to force myself not to eat this entire bar in one sitting. It is so good. Now, you might think cashew butter, like, ooh, that's kind of weird. It is dark chocolate with just this slightly creamy center to it. It doesn't have an overpowering cashew butter taste. The cashew butter and the vanilla bean kind of combats the super bitter taste of a dark chocolate. If you're like, ooh, dark chocolate's like too bitter for me, I feel like this totally adds a little sweetness to the bitterness so that it's not just like you're eating some baker's chocolate, you know? But it just tastes so, so good. I cannot recommend this enough. They sell this at Walmart. I will link it down below, but you're probably better off to just go in store. I know they have it at Walmart. They have so many different varieties, but I really like this one the most of the ones that I've tried. You gotta get it. Last random little lifestyle favorite. I don't know about you, but I'm obsessed with the store Aldi. I moved to Florida 6 years ago, and they started building them around me maybe a handful of years ago, and when I discovered it, I never turned back. I love it there for so many reasons. First reason being you have to bag your own groceries, which means the line moves so fast, there's never a line, and I hate waiting in line. So that's why I love going there. It's so fast. But the other thing I love about it is their candles. If you are sleeping on Aldi candles, you need to wake up because their candles are so good. So I have a couple of varieties that I really like. Prickly Pear Cactus. Oh my God, it's so good. It's fruity, but also florally. It almost smells like a star fruit type of scent. It's so good. And then I also have Citron and cilantro. Now, I'm not a huge cilantro person, but I don't smell cilantro in this. It just smells very fresh smelling. Oh my God, it smells so good. The thing I love about this, now specifically the Huntington Home 3-wick candles, these are the longest burning candles I have ever used. The scent throw on this is amazing. And they're so affordable. I think they're like $5 and they last forever, like forever. Every time I go there, I pick up 2. So I have like an entire cupboard full of these candles and I don't hate it. They are so, so good. They're the best candles I've ever used. I'm just gonna say it. They kick the butt out of Bath & Body Works and they are literally a quarter of the price, if not less, and they're just good. So if you have an Aldi near you, you need to go in and specifically go to the candles. The last thing I want to kind of recommend to you and talk about is a book recommendation. I am an avid reader, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I always post what books I'm reading, and I have a highlight on my Instagram for book recommendations. But the book that I just finished is The Time Traveler's Wife. Now, I'm probably the last person on earth to read this because it's been around forever, and they made a movie out of it, which I have not seen. But the book was so good, so good. It's such a good summer read. It is dramatic. It's a love story. It's also sad. It's also funny. And it's really, really interesting. And it makes you think, which I love books like that, where it's a good story and everything, but you kind of reflect on life and the meaning of life. I know that sounds kind of deep for this moment, but it's basically about this girl and she grows up and ends up marrying a man that time travels. And she basically meets him several times throughout her life. And it's just a beautifully written story. It's so well done. It's so clever. And I always look for holes in plots when they do time travel stuff or things where they're bouncing back and forth. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. This one makes sense. This one makes sense, which I also appreciate. It's a great, great read. It's pretty easy to read, although it is a pretty long book. So just know that you're going to be committed to it for a while, but I highly recommend it. All right, and that is it for all of the things I've been loving recently. You have got to let me know down in the comments what you have been loving recently. I would really love to know. And if you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel. I want to thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye.